Starting pay-earn protocol, improving carts. Charging batteries. Loading. Complete.
Ago now that we've been using the kart. It's been a journey of exploration and learning for the company. It's been really good. You know, the batteries are exactly the same battery as when we launched, which I think is really impressive when you think that we've had well over 2,000 charging cycles. Even with the powertrain, you know, it really means that there's no maintenance with this product, and I think this is really a credit to the guys at Rotax to develop such a robust car. And if you look at the performance, when you consider the weight that we carry at the moment, it is really impressive.
Hello and good morning everyone here at the track in Wavre, Belgium, and at home at your screens. We are starting second day of racing here at Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals. The qualifying heats are over and now we are preparing for first heats of this day. This is a safety car. We will have a safety car today on the track because today we are going in opposite direction and it's a completely new track for everyone. They tried yesterday after the finals some practice sessions in opposite direction on the track here in Wavre. That's new for everyone. The tarmac is absolutely fantastic with a tremendous amount of grip, with go-karts not sliding but jumping through the corners when the speed is too high. And now we just had a qualifying session with absolutely unpredictable results and lap times through the whole 7 groups of qualifying. But after yesterday it was Baptiste van der Beek who took the win in in a qualifying at the morning, then in both heats and also in the final. And so the extra points in qualifying with both heats and the first place in final, Baptiste van der Beek now is leading in a point standings with 157 points. That's 12 points in front of Patrick Porta, who yesterday was second. We saw Max Karhunen on the final step on the podium yesterday, but Axel Sarniala by the points is in front of him in third, but they are tied on the points with 136. And today we'll decide who will be on the podium. Jan Flambard in P5, 2 points missing to Karhunen and Sarniala. Alex Mrochko is P6 with 128. That's 6 points short of Jan Flambard, but 2 points in front of Enzo Gagnage. Then P8 in a top 10 for Andrei Sleipnieks, only 3 points missing to Enzo Gagnage and 1 point in front of Clement Esposito. And top 10 overall completed by Emrik Törnqvist with 119 points after yesterday's racing. Now we have a second day here in Saudi World Series Electric Sprint Final. We will have the winner of the final and the podium of the final today, and also we will have the overall winner. Only both days combined will give us a new Saudi World Series E-Sprint champion in 2025 here in Wavre, Belgium. Our Rotax electric go-kart is ready to serve as a safety car, but we had absolutely unpredictable results during qualifying this morning. The groups were the same during qualifying as they were yesterday, but they were put on the track in opposite order than yesterday. So those who started qualifying yesterday went last on the track this morning, and that means the seventh group went on the track first this morning. There were yesterday's winner, Baptiste van der Beek, who set the absolutely identical lap time with Francisco Gelstein with 47.501. Identical till the 1,000th of a second between van der Beek and Gelstein. But then with each group on the track, the lap times were still improving more and more and more. And at the end of the qualifying, in the last group, it was Axel Sarniala who went on the track and just crashed everyone else's lap time by half a second, going 46.8. Absolutely best lap time for Axel Sarniala in qualifying, and by unbelievable margin compared to everyone else, 46.8. The second best driver overall in qualifying was Emrik Törnqvist, who now is top 10 in overall ratings, but 47.333 for Emrik Törnqvist, and second best lap time. David Masiero was third in overall qualifying classification with 47.346. Pushing down the order, Patrick Porta, who was fourth in qualifying overall, and Sasha Mabillon with 47.4 seconds lap time was fifth best lap time overall in qualifying. Sixth for Enzo Gagnage with 47.445, and that left Baptiste van der Beek and Francisco Gelstein with their identical lap times, 7th and 8th in final classification, in overall classification in qualification, and that means that one of them will start from pole position in their group for heat number 1, and the other will start from P2 in different groups. So will gain the position the one who set the lap time first or the one who set the lap time later. Now it's Baptiste van der Beek in kart number 24. Just right after safety car, we will have a rolling start today. It's Baptiste van der Beek, then And we are still waiting for safety car to go away. The green flag is up. The green flag goes down. Safety car back to the pit lane, and we start racing. Clement Esposito is right after Baptiste Vanderbeek, then Adam Heng, and we see Vanderbeek has got his pole position in the first group. That means we will see Francisco Gelstein from P2. But he set identical lap time with Vanderbeek. That's fantastic. Never else that was so important and so decisive. Who set the lap time first? Not who set the fastest lap time, but who was first to drive identically fast through the whole lap. And now we are starting racing here in Wavre in opposite direction. The track is more dangerous than is in the right direction as we saw it yesterday. It will be a very, very intense battles today. Vanderbeek is leading, and also there was an opinion that today we will have more opportunities to find spaces and find places and spots on the track where to do overtaking. Will it be like that? We will see during this day. Now Vanderbeek is leading. We started in a one file, not in a side-by-side as yesterday from standing start, so it's more difficult to gain positions at the start, but that's less crashes during the first corners, so maybe it is better to start in one file than a standing start side-by-side. Now we have a first group of leaders coming to an end of the next lap. Baptiste Vanderbeek is still leading. Clement Esposito second, Adam Heng third, Gary Sux in fourth, and then Antoine Wies P5, followed by Gianni Arcieri. They are all within 1 second after each other. Then Chico Gonzalez is seventh, followed by Grappolini and Rautala, then Peifea, Sutz and Camarata. The first heat has started. Yesterday's winner and today's overall points leader, Baptiste Vanderbeek, is leading this race too. Yesterday was absolutely great for Baptiste Vanderbeek, with only one small mishap in a short qualifying session before the second heat, when there was 2 laps, one flying, then the stewards gave one more lap for qualifying, and Baptiste Vanderbeek was only third on the grid for the second heat. That left him with less chances to take the win, but anyway, it took for him less than 1 lap to be in front again and to lead and win the second heat too. So with the maximum amount of points, Baptiste Vanderbeek went through yesterday, got his first top step of the podium yesterday, and now is fighting for the overall title of SWS World Series E-Sprint category here in Wavre in 2025. Who will be third electric sprint champion in SWS World Series? Last year, Baptiste Vanderbeek was still fighting for the win, but then one mistake with the weight and with the ballast left him suffering with a lot of points, and that put him out of contention to fight for champion title. But now he is doing everything perfect. Now he is leading the first heat of the second day. He is in front of everyone in the point standing. He still has 12 points, now a little bit less than 10, and now he has a 10 points advantage after extra 2 points for qualifying went to Axel Sarniala today. But anyway, it's still a comfortable cushion in the points behind Baptiste Vanderbeek, and if he goes without mistakes today, we will see a new electric sprint champion here in Belgium. Vanderbeek leading this race, Clement Esposito still second, behind him Adam Heng already 2 seconds further back from Baptiste Vanderbeek, then Gary Sux and Antoine Wies and Gianni Arcieri fighting for 4th, 5th and 6th positions on the track. Almost 5 minutes already spent on the track. We are approaching the halfway mark of this race. 7 minutes to race. Here is Antoine Wies with number 2 and Gianni Arcieri with number 13 fighting for P5. Right in front of them is driving Gary Sux with number 4. Here they come through the next corner. and through the starting straight, through the S's, which were last corners in the yesterday's track. But now Baptiste van der Beek sets a new fastest lap time in this race, 47.4. That would be a top 7 lap time in a qualifying, but it is still 0.06 of a second slower than Axel Sarniala leading lap time of qualifying overall. 6.5 minutes to go. Still fight for a P5 between Antoine Wies and Gianni Arcieri. Arcieri goes inside, pushing out Antoine Wies. Gianni Arcieri moves up to P5 now. Arcieri is behind. What will judges say about this maneuver? Anyway, this is the first overtaking maneuver in this race. Arcieri succeeds, now is in front. Will he be able to improve his speed and get away from Antoine Wies, or we will see the fight to continue? There is Gary Sookes in front in P4, and between them is only a little bit more than half a second. There is one more trio on the track fighting for their positions. It's Chico Gonzalez, Grappolini and Rautala here through the... Now those are the first corners on the lap. Yesterday they were the last corners of the lap. We saw already their overtaking is possible into the... Now it's second corner in this direction. Gianni Arcieri succeed there. Now he is in P5 and chasing Gary Sookes with a 1.2 seconds deficit to Gary Sookes P4. Adam Heng in P3. Clement Esposito still second after Baptiste van der Beek, but a couple of record fast laps from Baptiste van der Beek, and he is already 1.5 seconds in front of Clement Esposito. Here number 29 of Matteo Grappolini. He is running P8, chasing Sergio Gonzalez and trying to run away from Ronnie Rautala, who in number 30 now is running 9th. But this is Baptiste van der Beek in number 24, leading the race by 1.5 seconds, pulling away from Clement Esposito. First few minutes, almost half a race, Clement Esposito was within 1 second behind Baptiste van der Beek, but now 2 laps with the new record lap times, and Baptiste van der Beek is starting to pull away. 1.5, 1.6, now they're going over finish line again. Still 1.5 between them. Almost the same speed during this lap for van der Beek and Clement Esposito, but anyway, van der Beek is in front and leading quite comfortably this race. 3.5 minutes till the finish. Also behind Clement Esposito there is even bigger gap, almost 3 seconds to Adam Heng, third place, and Gary Sookes and Gianni Arcieri are fighting for P4. There was 1.2 seconds between Arcieri and Sookes, and now there is only 0.2 of a second. Can Arcieri pull out one more overtaking move in this race? He is already right on the rear bumper of Sookes and fighting for P4, and Arcieri goes through. Now he is in front. Gianni Arcieri moves up to P4. 2 overtakes in one race, and Arcieri now is up to 4th place in this race. There is a bigger gap till the top 3. There are 2.5 seconds for Gianni Arcieri, but he is fast. Can he catch top 3 in remaining 2.5 minutes in this race? Very fast going Gianni Arcieri, the very fast overtaking moves. It took only 1 lap. He catched Gary Sookes and went through in the very next lap. Now Arcieri up to P4, going over the finish line for the next lap. 2.6 he was missing to Adam Heng, and now there is 2.5 between them. Adam Heng is going faster than Gary Sookes, and it will be harder for Gianni Arcieri to catch him. But here it is Matteo Grappolini fighting with Sergio Gonzalez. driving so close almost all the race, but still without try to overtake Gonzalez. Gonzalez in number 10. It's Matteo Grappolini in number 29 here chasing Gonzalez downhill for the second time during this lap. There behind them is Roni Rautala, but there is 1 second gap between Grappolini and Rautala. At the start, Rautala was right behind them, but now is falling back a little bit. Then after Rautala comes Alexander Peyfer in P10, then Balázs Zutz and Enrico Camarata. But we have a little bit more than 1 minute to go last laps in this race. Baptiste van der Beek sets new best lap time of this race, 47.3, but that is still far off Axel Sarniala's best lap time in qualifying with 46.8. Unbelievable speed the Finnish drivers set in the closing stages of qualifying. Here we are following Van der Beek uphill for the second time in this lap, coming through the corners which yesterday were first corners on the lap. One more lap completed for Van der Beek and 1 lap to go. The final lap of this race, 30 seconds till the end of time of this race. 12 minutes we have for heat number 1. In a second heat we will have 3 laps for qualifying and then again 12 minutes heat, and in finals we will go for 15 minutes on the track. Now this is Baptiste van der Beek leading heat number 1 today. One and only, not a mistake, but even we can call it like a misunderstanding or mishap for Baptiste van der Beek. Was yesterday's second qualifying, the short 3 minutes or 3 laps qualifying, when he had to start from third on the grid. But everything else so far Baptiste van der Beek has won. Today Axel Sarniala was faster in qualifying, took those extra points for qualifying away from Baptiste van der Beek and left us with a more intense battle with the overall points rating. So far so good, but Baptiste van der Beek takes the win in his first heat. Clement Esposito is home second. Adam Heng finishing third. Gianni Arcieri up to P4 but unable to catch Adam Heng. Top 3 was a little bit too far off for Gianni Arcieri and for us to see one more great overtaking move. There are only warnings for this race, no decisions for judges with some penalties. There is warning for pushing at the start, warning for trying to overtake, but everything else is correct and drivers remain in their finishing positions. So Van der Beek takes the win, then Esposito, Heng, Arcieri and Souks in the top 5. Wies, Gonzalez, Grappolini, Rautala and Peyfer completing top 10, followed by Souks and Camarata. At least for the first heat, starting in a one file, in a rolling start. We had obviously less crashes than yesterday, but who knows how it will go through the day. Now the rolling start because of configuration of this track there. Gianni Arcieri, great move during the first and second corners of this lap, maintaining his speed, exiting the last corner before starting new lap, but Baptiste van der Beek was fastest in this race. His best lap time was almost 2/10 faster than anyone else. Clement Esposito starting from second, finished second, and Adam Heng was third. But Baptiste van der Beek is on his way to Saudi World Series E-Sprint champion in 2025. And we are back on track and preparing for a second group, starting heat number 1 here in Wavre. Safety car is on the track. We went without a need of safety car during the first group of drivers. Now we are setting for the second start of this day, queuing the drivers in a correct order according to qualifying results. It's number 20 from Alex Mroczko, lined in second place, and the pole position in this race for Enzo Ganyage. Enzo Ganyage set the fastest time in a second qualifying group today, but later was pushed down and down and down the order. So now Ganyage get his pole position in this group. And we are ready to go racing, with Enzo Ganyage leading this group of drivers now on the track, starting formation lap after safety car, and at the end of the lap safety car will go into the pit lane, and as soon as green flag goes down, we start racing for more 12 minutes on the track. Here we see Ganyage with a distinctive white suit and a white crash helmet with a family name on the legs of a suit. So very distinctive suit for Enzo Ganyage. We can see who it is driving in pole position right now. And setting ready for second start of this day. Thibaut Petrona is right after Ganyage with number 11 in P2 on the grid. There comes Alex Mroczko, P3 with number 20, and Mika Snellman with number 23, then Martin Papan with number 8, and Marco Massoli 5, Maxim Kuhn 28, Morgan Tevena number 22, Jonni Lorenzi with 17, Laura Veterova 18, Patrick Bonomi 25, Ayrton Komi number 1, and Ville Volento with 12. Safety car goes off the track and we start racing again. And through the first corners, a lot of noise and a lot of crashes, but no one spins out. There is a crash at the very end of the start. Ville Volento runs in the back of Patrick Bonomi and Ayrton Komi, but Enzo Ganyage is leading the race in front of Thibaut Petrona and Alex Mroczko. Here down the hill and turning in this corner, which is closing and closing, going downhill. And one of the spots where we could see overtaking moves later on. We saw there Axel Sarnial taking very different line downhill as anyone else. Maybe there he found his 0.5 of a second to be in front of everyone. We will see in the next heats, but now Enzo Ganyage is leading this race in front of Thibaut Petrona. 0.4 seconds between them all. Very, very close, one after another. Ganyage, Petrona, Mroczko, Snellman and Martin Papan in top 5. Then Marco Massoli, Maxim Kuhn, Morgan Tevena, Jonni Lorenzi and Laura Veterova in top 10. But there comes Ayrton Komi, Patrick Bonomi and Ville Volento. It's number 5 for Marco Massoli. And here are the leaders. Enzo Ganyage is unable to pull away from Thibaut Petrona. Petrona also had a very, very good lap time in qualifying with 47.6 seconds. Enzo Ganyage set 47.4, but is unable now to run so fast. And Petrona is still only 0.3 behind him after first 2 laps completed. Top 3 are pulling away. Mika Snellman, they're in a number 23, chased by Martin Papan and Marco Massoli. But top 3 drivers, Ganyage, Petrona and Mroczko, already almost second in front of Snellman. A very small gap is starting to form between Ganyaj and Petrona. Will be able Enzo to pull away, to set his lead and control this race. So far, all top three drivers are going very close together. Behind them there is Snellman, Papan and Massoli fighting for P4, P5 and P6. Here is number 8 of Martin Papan. Papan chasing Mika Snellman. There is still all top three drivers visible in front, but the gap is increasing lap by lap. If Martin Papan can go faster, he will have to find a way through, to find a way to pass Mika Snellman. So far he is unable to do, but he is losing time. If he wants to join top three drivers, he has to go in front of Mika Snellman. Other way, they are going away. The gap is increasing. There is already 1.5 seconds between Mrotzko and Snellman. Snellman is pulling back, and there goes inside Thibaut Petrona trying to overtake Enzo Ganyaj, but is left fighting with Alex Mrotzko and Enzo Ganyaj pulling away. Now the gap has increased. We are going up, we are going down for the next lap of this race, and Enzo Ganyaj has moved in front a little bit away from both chasers, Thibaut Petrona and Alex Mrotzko. One unsuccessful move from Thibaut Petrona, and Mrotzko is right on his bumper, but Enzo Ganyaj is off in front by 0.8 seconds. Now the fight for second place in this race is on. Ganyaj is trying to set better lap times. One more record lap for Enzo Ganyaj with 47.7. It's still 3/10 slower than his best qualifying lap time. But anyway, that's the fastest lap of this race. Here are Petrona and Mrotzko fighting for P2. And even bigger gap behind to Snellman in P4, chased by Papan, Massoli and Kuhn. Here they come. Laura Vetrova goes through with number 18 in P10. One more record fast lap for Thibaut Petrona with 47.7 seconds. He is trying to catch Enzo Ganyaj again. Already 1/10 faster than Enzo Ganyaj in this lap, and Thibaut Petrona is trying to close into the leader again, and they are looking back, both Petrona and Mrotzko looking back. How far behind are Snellman, Papan, Massoli, Kuhn and Tevena, who all are fighting for P4 now on the track. And there is a very small gap between top three and the next five drivers, which are forming a long queue, a long train of cars. If they will catch Mrotzko and Petrona, they will be in the battle for the lead. But now they have to catch the leader, they have to maintain the gap behind, they cannot afford to fight each other too hard, Thibaut Petrona and Alex Mrotzko. They both need speed to catch Ganyaj and run away from Snellman. Snellman in number 23, still in front of Martin Papan and Marco Massoli. Already 2 seconds gap between third and fourth. Mrotzko and Petrona are pulling away from Snellman and also closing in on Enzo Ganyaj. But this lap, Enzo Ganyaj goes faster than anyone else, and now is matching his qualifying lap time with 47.440. 47.445 was best lap time of Enzo Ganyaj in the qualifying. Now he has set it even 5 thousandths of a second quicker than in qualifying, and is trying to run away from Petrona and Mrotzko. Here is the fight for P4 with Snellman, Papan and Massoli. Martin Papan in number 8 chasing Snellman. They are doing that for more than More than 7 minutes now, and the crash going downhill goes inside. Martin Papan fighting for P4. Mika Snellman down to P5. Will we see some decisions from judges for this fight on the track? But anyway, going up to P4, Martin Papan, does he have a speed to catch the leaders, to fight for top 3 places in this race? There are 2.8 seconds between Papan and Mrocko. Now in top 3. Papan in front, up to P4 now. Mick Snellman behind him, and then comes Marco Massoli, Maxim Kuhn and Morgan Tevena. All of them able to join this fight after a short hustle between Papan and Snellman. And now we have 5 cars in one train through the starting straight. Last 4 minutes on the track for everyone else in this group. Gagnage is leading by 0.8 seconds. One record fast lap from Enzo Gagnage, but on the very next lap, Thibaut Petrona and Alex Mrocko are going faster again and closing the gap to 0.8. Alex Mrocko still only 0.4 of a second behind Petrona. They are not fighting each other, they are running away from Papan and Snellman, and they are trying to catch Enzo Gagnage, but the end of the race is approaching, and will we see some decisive moves in the last laps of this race? Here are 3 leaders again, one after another. 0.4 between Gagnage and Petrona, 0.4 between Petrona and Mrocko, and Martin Papan is down to P8. It seems like a penalty. We will see it very soon. Is there a change on the track or in the rankings? 3 leaders coming here with Gagnage in 19, Petrona in 11 and Mrocko in number 20. A little bit too far off is Thibaut Petrona to fight with Gagnage. One more better lap from Enzo Gagnage. 0.6 now between them, still 0.4, 0.3 between Petrona and Mrocko in third. Here they are between the second uphill going on the bridge. Last 2 minutes to left to fight on the track now. Snellman, Massoli, Kuhn, and it is a penalty for Martin Papan. We are following 3 leaders, Gagnage, Petrona and Mrocko, but Martin Papan went in front in Mika Snellman, but got a 3 seconds penalty, and now he's 4 places down in P8. Still running on the track in front, but classified in P8, Martin Papan. Very unsuccessful move from Papan. He got through, but he got penalty, and now there is such a long train of cars behind him. He's losing 4 places with seconds penalty, but it's Enzo Gagnage who is pulling away again. Thibaut Petrona and Alex Mrocko were closing on him in the previous laps, but now Gagnage is pulling away again. Mrocko still third, Petrona second, and Enzo Gagnage in front. Last minute of this race, top 3 through the starting straight again. Martin Papan still running 4th on the track, but classified 8 in the rankings. Mika Snellman is back in the 4th place, followed by Marco Massoli, Maxim Kuhn and Morgan Tevena. Joni Lorenzi needs more than 1 second to close on, and then he will be classified in front of Martin Papan too, but now he is just too far off to get advantage from Papan's penalty of 3 seconds. The last seconds of this race, we are going through the final lap now. Here is Enzo Gagnage up the hill, and will be the checkered flag. Yes, it will be now on the final straight, and Enzo Gagnage takes the win in front of Thibaut Petrona and Alex Mrocko. 4th over finish line is Martin Papan, but with 3 seconds penalty. He's down the order in P8, and Mika Snellman gets his 4th place back. Marco Massoli in P5, Maxim Kuhn P6, Morgatevena in P7, then Martin Papan with a 3 seconds penalty. Renzi just a little bit more than 1 second off to gain a position because of Papan's penalty. Renzi is left in P9. Then Billy Valento, top 10, followed by Laura Veterova, Ayrton Komi and Patrick Bonomi. One more race done. We are scoring the points, we are counting the points, and we will be back on the track with a second heat where there will be a separate qualification with only 3 laps available, with actually only 2 flying laps available, only 2 options to clock fastest lap time for each driver. This is the second race of this day, the second group of drivers going to first heat. A few crashes at the start during the second corner. It still left Ville Valento up in the 10th place after a hard fight during those 12 minutes, but started he very last and finished in P10. There were a fight for better lap times, there was a fight for gaps between drivers, and so Gage went away, then was catched again. Petrona and Morozko formed top 3 and run away from Mick Snellman, Marco Massoli, Maxim Kuhn, Morgan Tevena and Martin Papan. Papan was the only one who tried and who succeeded to overtake someone on the track in this race, but got a 3 seconds penalty and is classified down into the P8. Here a crash between Alex Morozko and Petrona. Anyway, they remained in the same order as started, all 3 leaders. And Yaj went over finish line in front of everyone with 7/10 of a second advantage. Petrona second, Morozko third, and Snellman got back his 4th place after Papan got penalty. Massoli completed top 5. We are back here in Wavre, getting ready for third race of the day. Drivers are already in their go-karts and ready to go on the track. We will see on the track in the next moment Sasha Mabio in number 13. There will be William Kneppen in number 3. Number 4 for René Lutzenkirchen. Albert Ingo goes with number 30. Kyle Volkerts 32. Carl Scaini with number 15. 2 for Pasqualetti. Teo Janček with number 10. Emanuele Signorini number 9. We saw Jesse Nissinen with number 27, Olli Horko 24, Chris Kolo with the 29, 31 for Choquet and 16 for Herdy Fosi. The safety car goes around the track and is getting ready for third start of second day of racing here in Wavre. Drivers on the track again. It's Carl Scaini with number 15, first out of the pit lane. Everyone else now they will be queued according to qualifying results behind the safety car. We have an electric Rotax safety car here, and we also have one of the prizes of the World Series E-Sprint Finals is a ticket to race in Rotax Max in electric go-karts. So everyone else has an option to see how does it look and how fast can it go. We have a safety car of Rotax Electric. And now, forming the queue according to qualifying results behind safety car, one more rolling start for this group. We will have a rolling starts today because the track is in opposite direction and it would not be safe to start side by side as we did it yesterday. Sasha Mabio is in number 13 right after safety car. He has got a P1 in this race. Everyone else is lining up behind, and we are almost ready to go on the formation lap. Now the third race is just about to start. And off we go. One lap. Warming up the tires, warming up the drivers, and setting ready for 12 minutes of racing here in Wavre Indoor Karting. Second day of Saudi World Series E-Sprint. We are fighting for the podium today, and we are fighting for the overall classification because the E-Sprint champion of 2025 will be decided by results of both days combined. So the points score in both days will determine who will be the winner and who will be the E-Sprint champion in 2025. And also today we will know where E-Sprint finals will be held next year. So at the podium ceremony in the evening, we will know where we will go next year for electric sprint finals. But now, third race of the day, 14 drivers on the track, one after another, forming one long queue, going off the track, safety car, green flag, and we are racing again. It's Mabio at the front. There is a fight between Jesse Nissinen and Emanuele Signorini, also Mirko Pascaletti fighting through the first two corners of the track, but leaders without the changes going up a hill for the first time on this lap. Sasha Mabio leading, William Kneppen second, Ingo Albert in third, René Lutzenkirchen fourth, then Karl Skaini has lost his position to Teo Janček and also Emanuele Signorini. There were a lot of contacts during first two corners. And first lap completed, going through this difficult and quite dangerous corner after the bridge going down. And also the drivers cannot see over the fence, which is at the side of the track, so it's almost blind, the corner, and you have to just know where to turn in and where to go down. The go-kart is going a bit lighter during this moment, and also the corner is a little bit negative with the outside lower than inside. So far everything so good in this part of the track. Mabio still leading, Knappen second, Albert third, then Lutzenkirchen, Volkert and Teo Janček. Jesse Nissinen in front of Jérôme Choquet. Karl Skaini down to P10 after first lap. In front of him is Herdi Fosi, Jérôme Choquet and Jesse Nissinen. And out of the top 10 are running Massimo Criscolo, Emanuele Signorini and Olli Horko. Mirko Pasqualetti in P14. Sasha Mabio is pulling away after two laps. There is a 1 second gap between him and William Kneppen. Now Mabio is running away. Kneppen is left to fight for second with Albert Ingo and René Lutzenkirchen. Here is 27 of Jesse Nissinen, Jérôme Choquet. following him very, very closely. Also, Jesse Nissinen is only 2 seconds off Teo Janček in P6. Herdy Fosi trying to close in. He is 1.7 behind Choquet. Then Karl Skaini getting back some of lost places in the first lap. Now Skaini back up to P9 together with Massimo Criscolo. Herdy Fosi down to P11. All the cars are so close after one another, so if you lose one position, there always be someone else to going through and passing you, and it's almost impossible to lose only one position. As you start losing, there is almost no way back. So it's down the order. Herdy Fosi and Karl Skaini moves 2 places up in 1 lap. Sasha Mabio still leading, already almost 1.5 seconds in front of William Kneppen. Kneppen fighting with Albert Ingo and René Lutzenkirchen for 2nd, 3rd and 4th places. It's Emanuele Signorini next, who goes past Herdy Fosi. Down the order is going Herdy Fosi after a great start. Fosi now has lost 3 places already and back to P12 in front of Olli Hörkö and Mirko Pasqualetti. I have learned a thing or two today also. Now I know it's Pasqualetti, so I'm sorry for yesterday's pronunciation, which was a little bit off. So Mirko Pasqualetti now is running, and anyone else, if you hear I am pronouncing your name not as it should sound, just come and say how it is correct. I'm trying my best, but anyway, those French names and Italian names, there is a lot of variations. So if you see I'm wrong, just come and say how it is correct, and I'll try my best. So Mirko Pasqualetti now running 14th. In front of him, Olli Hörkö, then Herdy Fosi, Emanuele Signorini in P11, Massimo Criscolo in P10. But Sasha Mabion setting new records in first sector, in second sector, running away 1.1 now between him and William Kneppen, Ingo Albert and René Lutzenkirchen. They're in P3 and P4. Now, absolutely best lap time in this race from William Kneppen, and he just cuts off a few tenths of advantage from Sasha Mabio. Now there is 1.1 between them. In the start of this lap, in the first sector, Sasha Mabio gets 1/10 of a second back. They are in a very similar pace through the second sector of the lap. Ingo Albert still third, but losing a tenth or two during each sector in this lap. The gap between second and third place is also increasing. There is already more than 1 second, and Lutzenkirchen still is very, very close behind Albert Ingo. It's 16 of Herdy Fosi, followed by Mirko Pasqualetti. They're fighting for P13 on the track. Herdy Fosi in number 16, Mirko Pasqualetti in number 14. Here they fighting for 13th and 14th places in this race. But Sasha Mabio is leading by 1.1 in front of William Kneppen, and this lap one more record set from William Kneppen, and he is back in the fight again with only 0.9 seconds. Mabio and Kneppen. It's number 30 of Albert Ingo. Pulling away is William Kneppen. He ran away from Ingo, and now he is chasing Sasha Mabio, fighting for the lead. Ingo Albert has left in the third place in front of René Lutzenkirchen. There is only half a second between them. They are fighting for P3 and P4. And here Jesse Nissinen in 27. Losing a little bit to Teo Janček in front, and still chased by Jérôme Choquet in number 31 in P8. Less than 5 minutes till the end of this race. William Kneppen still setting fastest times in different sectors of the lap. now closing to Sasha Mabio, already 0.6 seconds. Here comes Jesse Nissinen in 27. Jérôme Choquet in 31, fighting for P7 on the track, one of the closest fights now. We also have two pairs of drivers within 1 second. It's Lutzenkirchen and Ingo Albert in P4 and P3, and William Kneppen just 0.6 of a second off Sasha Mabio in front. Nissinen and Choquet. Here going uphill, Jesse Nissinen in P7, Jérôme Choquet in P8. The fight continues, goes to inside. Jérôme Choquet, now the starting straight. He tried to go inside, going downhill, but did not succeed, and now is still running after Jesse Nissinen, fighting for P7 on the track. Sasha Mabio and William Kneppen also the same distance between them. There is only 0.6 between both leaders. Albert Ingo is further back with more than 2 seconds losing to William Kneppen. René Lutzenkirchen is 0.4 behind Albert Ingo. It's the fight for the third place. Three minutes left in this race. Lutzenkirchen in number 4, right behind Albert Ingo in number 30, going through the first corners of this lap. Ingo defending his top 3 spot in this race. In P3 now is Albert Ingo, P4 René Lutzenkirchen. Here they are, coming on the bridge again. And one of the overtaking opportunities here, coming downhill. The narrow line into the corner for Albert Ingo. There is no space for René Lutzenkirchen to try to dive inside of the corner. And here they are still fighting for P3 on the track. William Kneppen falls back again. It's a very, very fast lap from Sasha Mabio, 47.3, and he goes away to 1.3 seconds. It's number 13 of Sasha Mabio, leading the race, 2 minutes remaining, and the distance between him and William Kneppen has increased again. That really fast lap from Sasha Mabio, fastest of this race with 47.3, and that already sets him with 1.3 seconds for Kneppen. He was 1.6 seconds away in one point of the race, but that was all. Further away he was not able to go, and William, in a few laps, was right behind him again. Now Mabio is pulling away, 1.5 minutes left to race, and 1.6 seconds again is between leaders. William Kneppen is left alone in second place. Here he goes, the number 3 on his car. Distance to the leader is increasing. He's not able to clock so fast lap times William Kneppen. Now he's losing a very small margin to Ingo Albert in third, but Albert anyway is more than 2 seconds behind, so there is almost no possibility for Ingo Albert to catch Kneppen and fight for second place. Ingo Albert is busy fighting with René Lutzenkirchen. There is only half a second between them all race. Albert Ingo is trying to defend his third place, not trying to catch William Kneppen. Last minute in this race, this could be a final, and the checkered flag is already prepared. The leaders are going through the start. Sasha Mabio with number 13 leading this race from start to finish, increasing his gap just in the last laps of the race, clocking the best lap times in the closing lap of this race. 47.3 is the best, 47.5 for him now. The last seconds going through the lap, Mabio and Kneppen. Albert Ingo still third, René Lutzenkirchen still fourth, then Kyle Volkerts in a lonely fifth place on the track. Theo Janček is, and also with the big gaps in front and also behind. Jesse Nissinen and Jérôme Choquet still fighting for P7, but that is Sasha Mabio who goes over the finish line in P1. William Kneppen second, Albert Ingo third, René Lutzenkirchen fourth, Kyle Volkerts takes fifth place, then Theo Janček, Jesse Nissinen, Jérôme Choquet, Karl Skaini and Massimo Criscolo completing top 10. followed by Olli Hurko, Emanuele Signorini, Herdi Fosi and Mirko Pasqualetti. Third race of the day is over. No crashes, no too aggressive overtaking move. Sasha Mabio goes from start to finish in the first place. There was a fight in the beginning stages of the race. Here Niskanen is pushed off the second corner, holding inside into the third. There was a fight at the end of the first 10. I got a very good start for the Fosi, but then was losing places during all the race. But between the leaders, everything remained the same. Sasha Mabio pulled away, then was catched again. Julian Kneppen came in a second position. Albert Ingo was third. Whole race chased by René Lutzenkirchen, but also without any overtaking moves, without judges to issue some penalties. Everything went quite smooth during this race, and smooth enough for Sasha Mabio, who is taking his first win of this day. Back in the Wavre Indoor Karting, we are going on with the fourth race of the day. The first heats are going on here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint. Drivers are queued now behind the safety car, starting the formation lap. We have a next group of drivers on the track. It's Patrick Porta in number 12. It's Jan Flambard with the go-kart number 23. 19 for Artur Piette, number 1 for Andrei Slepnieks, Loic Martin in number 20, Mathieu Otessier in number 26, it's 25 for Marceau Guigny, Emilien Gouchon in number 8, 22 for Nicolas Schifferl, 28 for Lutzenkirchen, then Brossard in 17, 18 for Jakub Jonas, Jamil Issa with number 11, and Jim Snellman in number 5. Formation lap has started, and we are just about to start racing again. We have a track in opposite direction today, opposite to yesterday, and opposite to normal direction, how the track here in Wavre is going. So far we have seen great lap times during qualifying. Drivers are going even faster than in a correct direction in this track. So we had an absolutely fantastic lap time from Axel Sarniala with 46.8 seconds, almost half a second quicker than anyone else. We will see Axel Sarniala in a last race in the last group now during the first heats, but here we are forming behind the safety car and ready to start again. It's number 12 of Patrick Porta. Yesterday second place took Patrick Porta, now he's starting for P1 from first group, goes to the pit line, safety car, and we are racing again. A few crashes through the first corners. There is just one driver losing places, but in such a fierce competition, if you go off the line, there is a train of the cars passing you already. The first sector completed. It seems Mathieu Tessier was in the fight during the first corners. Patrick Porta is still leading in front of Jan Flambard, going up to the bridge for the first part in this lap, for the first time in this lap. Porta leading, Flambard second. Behind them is Andres Leipnieks in third, then Arthur Piette and Loic Martin. Second time onto the bridge, and here down the hill in a blind corner, seeing nowhere to go after the bridge, and the first lap is completed. Marceau Guigny moved up, Emilien Gouchon lost the places together with Mathieu Otessier, and Alexander Lutzenkirchen is also one of the drivers moving up the order at the fighting during the first two corners and the first lap. Now the leaders are in the same order as started: Porta, Flambard and Leipnieks, then Piette, Martin and Guigny in P6. Second lap on the track, and there is already forming a gap between second and third. Porta and Flambard pulling away from Andres Leipnieks. Leipnieks is third. Andres Leipnieks also one of the top 10 drivers in overall classification after yesterday. He was just 12 or 13 points short of overall podium, and now he is running third in this race, losing already 1.5 seconds to leader, 1.1 to Jan Flambard in a second place. Arthur Piette is right behind Leipnieks. There is also Loic Martin and Marceau Guigny very, very close to them. Here is a number 12 of Patrick Porta in the P1, followed by Jan Flambard, and then more than 1 second distance to Andres Leipnieks in third. Leaders on the bridge at the end of the lap, going downhill, and here comes Leipnieks in number 1, followed by Arthur Piette, Loic Martin, Marceau Guigny and Alexander Lutzenkirchen. We have 5 drivers fighting for P3. Here they are through the first corners. Number 1 for Leipnieks, number 19 for Piette, 20 for Loic Martin, 25 for Marceau Guigny and 28 for Alexander Lutzenkirchen. Leipnieks still in front of this group, but losing ground to both leaders in front. There is already 2 seconds between Porta in P1 and Leipnieks in P3. Two leaders are clocking faster. Lap times is 47.5 and 47.6. In 48 seconds are going Leipnieks, Piette, Martin, Guigny and Lutzenkirchen. How long can Leipnieks hold his position? Will be there some overtaking moves from Arthur Piette? It seems like Piette is faster. Also Loic Martin, Guigny and Lutzenkirchen are really clearly close behind, so everyone can risk to lose many positions in this train as soon as you move off the racing line. If you do not succeed with the overtaking, you will lose the places for all those racers in those 5 positions from 3rd till 7th. Leipnigs and Piette, 1st and 19th on their cars, followed by Martin, Gigny and Lutzenkirchen. Through the starting straight again, Patrick Porta and Jan Flambard pulling away, more than 2 seconds between Leipnigs and Flambard. Here is number 18 of Jakub Jonas, chased by Jim Snellman in P13. It was in qualifying when we were fighting for lap times. Now it's the first heat and their only positions count, so it doesn't matter how fast or how slow goes Andres Leipnigs. As long as he is in P3, he will get points for P3, and Artur Piette has to do something to get more points in this first heat. It seems like he is faster and Andres Leipnigs is holding him back, but Leipnigs is in front on the track. Piette chasing, then Martin, Gigny and Lutzenkirchen. This train of 5 cars running already almost half of the race, very close together. Then there is Mathieu Ottesier in P8. Behind him is Emilien Gouchon, Nicolas Schifferl and Sylvain Brossard. And here is Leipnigs in number 1. Piette 19, Martin 20 and Gigny 25 in front of Lutzenkirchen's 28. A small contact on the bridge between Leipnigs and Piette. In the first race, here we saw in a second corner the overtaking move. But now, no one is going to risk moving off the racing line. Too close behind are too many drivers here. A small distance between Piette and Martin, between 19 and 20. But still Leipnigs in front, and it seems like everyone else is pushing him and they are pushing each other. Here is Artur Piette in number 19. Again, only a few centimeters between him and Leipnigs. Here going downhill, followed by Martin, Gigny and Lutzenkirchen. Fight for positions from 3rd till 7th. Five minutes to go in this race. Porta leading, Flambard second. Porta has pulled away, almost 2 seconds advantage over Jan Flambard. Flambard is quite alone in his second place. Andres Leipnigs is 3 seconds further back, holding off Piette, Martin, Gigny and Lutzenkirchen. Mathieu Ottesier lost 2 positions in a previous lap. Emilien Gouchon and Nicolas Schifferl in front of him. Jim Snellman moving up the order to P11 now in front of Sylvain Brossard and Jakub Jonas. Issa Jamil still in P14. 4 minutes to go in this race. Porta and Flambard leading. Leipnigs third. The 3 leaders with bigger and bigger gaps between them, but behind Leipnigs there is a train of 5 cars whole race. Here goes number 5 of Jim Snellman. Behind him is Sylvain Brossard and Jakub Jonas, also Jamil Issa fighting for positions from P11 till P14. But here comes Leipnigs, Piette, Martin, Gigny and Lutzenkirchen. It seems like it's Loic Martin who is first, starting to defend his position, going downhill on the first bridge. And now Artur Piette still chasing Leipnigs. 3 minutes to go. No moves from Artur Piette. No Nothing from Pieter. He is chasing Leibniz. Maybe he is preparing for a last lap move. We saw something like yesterday when the pilots going through the whole race one after another and then doing the job in a last lap, in the last corners of the race and moving in front, so the opponent has not the chance to get his position back. Here is Leibniz still in front of Martin, Pieter, Gini and Lutzenkirchen. Almost no gaps between them from 3rd till 7th. Porta and Flambard pulling away in 1st and 2nd, almost 3-second advantage for Patrick Porta, almost 3 more seconds between Flambard and Leibniz. And here is number 12 of Patrick Porta. Yesterday he set the 2nd best lap time, and also after yesterday Patrick Porta has the 2nd best score of points overall, losing 12 points to Baptiste van der Beek and being 9 points in front of Axel Sarniala and Max Karkunen. Sarniala already got extra points for winning qualifying today, so he's closer to 2nd placed Patrick Porta already in the points score in a 2nd day of racing. But Patrick Porta is leading this race. He is doing everything he can perfectly, and now going to win this race. 1.5 minutes to go. Jan Flambard in number 23. Then there comes Andrejs Leibniz. It's 2.5 seconds further back for Leibniz, followed by Pieter, Martin, Gini and Lutzenkirchen. Last minute of this race, and it seems like Andrejs Leibniz is pushed forward so hard from Pieter, Martin, Gini and Lutzenkirchen that he is starting to close the gap to Jan Flambard in closing laps of this race. Now there is 2.4, there were 2.8 only 2 laps ago. It was faster for Leibniz compared to Jan Flambard. That's still Pieter, Martin, Gini and Lutzenkirchen. It seems they could go even faster now. They are clocking 47.5 seconds. But anyway, have lost too much time to both leaders, to Patrick Porta and Jan Flambard. The time is running off to 22 seconds still to go. Here is number 12 of Patrick Porta leading this race. Just set the new best lap time of this race with 47.2, which is even faster than Patrick Porta went in qualifying this morning. Now he is approaching the finish line. There are 2 corners to go. Here is the finish and Patrick Porta takes the win. Jan Flambard is 2nd. Andrejs Leibniz holds off all the attempts of Artur Pieter and goes over the finish line in 3rd. P3 for Andrejs Leibniz, who ended yesterday in P10 in 8th position on the points score after the first day of racing. Now Andrejs Leibniz takes 3rd in front of Artur Pieter, Loic Martin, Marceau Gini and Alexander Lutzenkirchen in 7th. Then in P8 comes Emilian Gouchon, then Nicolas Schiffler, Mathieu Ottesier in P10, then Snellman, Jonas Brossard and Jamil Issa in P14. This is the race number 4 today. From pole position goes Patrick Porta, and Jan Flambard and Andrejs Leibniz. There are some crashes through the first 2 corners. 2 positions lost, 2 positions gained in a fight during the first lap, but after that all the 10 leaders settled in their positions. Porta pulled away from Flambard, Flambard pulled away from Leibniz, Leibniz was defensive all the race and got his 3rd position on the finish line. Arthur Piette, Loic Khan, Marceau Guinea and Alexander Lutzenkirchen was not able to do anything with their positions and finished in the same order. Then Emilien Gouchon was down in P8 in front of Nicolas Schifferl and Mathieu Autessier. Gouchon and Schifferl fighting for P8 at the ending stages of the race. And Autessier and Snellman in 10th and 11th. Jakob Jonas in front of Brossard and Jamil Issa. 3 more races to go, 3 groups in the first heat, then will be a short break and the second heat.
Why do you come here? Is this your career?
Or is it all about fun? A chance to get away and leave it all behind?
Or do you chase your personal best? Challenging yourself over and over again? Why do you come here?
Maybe you're here to collect moments. Good ones. And not so good ones.
Or you can't afford mistakes because you want that victory. It's all about this one moment when the hard work finally pays off.
This is the place that brings us closer to the people who share our story. Whoever we are,
Whatever we're here for, racing is who we are.
In Wavre again, we are going through formation lap now. 3 more races to go in heat number 1. We saw yesterday in a short qualifying before second heats a few surprises, so we will see what awaits us today. But here is a safety car coming down from the second bridge and getting ready to race. Everyone else queued behind the safety car. We are back on the starting straight again. It's David Masiero, Michal Willim, Ivarsson and Hankes now fighting for their positions during the first corner of the lap. We're going, there is a crash going through. And now the first lap has started. It's Karmo Kerb pushed out of the second corner. Now is trying to maintain his position. David Masiero and Michal Willim leading the race. Theodor Ivarsson is third and Dorian Hankes fourth. Then Julien Missler, Karbo Kerm, Harry Suoninen has lost 2 positions in the fight in the first corners and now is down 2 places. Everybody else, it seems, have maintained their positions on the track. There they are coming down the second bridge in this lap. David Masiero leading by 0.3 of a second. Michal Willim, Ivarsson is third. Suoninen down to P10. Everyone through the starting straight after the first lap. 1 lost position for Harry Suoninen. Karmo Kerb is P6. Julian Missler is P5. Dorian Hankes in 4th. And Theodor Ivarsson in P3. And leading drivers Michal Willim and David Masiero. And here is a fight after the first bridge. Dorian Hankes goes inside of Theodor Ivarsson side by side. They are still fighting hard. Crash into the barriers for Dorian Hankes. Number 13 almost stopped after this crash. There goes by Julian Missler and Karmo Kerb. 3, 4, 5, 6 places lost for Dorian Hankes. One unlucky overtaking move and 6 places lost Dorian Hankes after such a hard crash into the barriers. Now Julian Missler is up to 4th, Karmo Kerb is in P5, Janis Vey in P6, Francesco Panati, and there is fight between Panati and Janis Vale going uphill on the bridge, downhill side by side. Francesco Panati in number 10 and Janis Vey in number 24. They are fighting for position on the track. Only a first few minutes spent on the track, 2 minutes we are racing and 9.5 to go. It's David Masiero leading Michal Vilim, 0.3 between them. More than second is Theodor Ivarsson in third place, but Francesco Panati lost to Soninen, lost to Julien Pascal, and Hankes is in P10. Dorian Hankes just set the best lap time so far in this race, but that doesn't help much. He is P10 just behind Francesco Panati. Panati just lost 2 positions during the previous lap. Davide Masiero in number 9, followed by Michal Vilim in number 15. Then there comes Theodor Ivarsson again. He was more than second behind Vilim. Now is getting back within 1 second, 0.7 between Vilim and Ivarsson. Then Julian Missler, followed by Karmo Kerb, Janis Vale and Julien Pascal, fighting from 4th till 7th. Julian Missler just got 5 seconds penalty. Kart number 13 on the track is in P4, but classified down the order in P12. So number 30 of Julian Missler now is driving on the track in 4th position, but has lost a lot of positions. He is 8 places down in the classification because of 5 seconds penalty. So close they are racing together that 5 seconds give you 8 places down. And there is Julian Missler in kart number 30. Davide Masiero still unable to pull away from Michal Vilim. There is only 0.3 seconds between them. Here is Theodor Ivarsson in number 4. He also is closing in. There was more than 1 second a few laps ago. Now Ivarsson is only 0.5 behind Vilim. Vilim is only 0.3 behind Masiero. All 3 leaders going really close together. Here down from the bridge and starting the next lap, Masiero leading, Vilim second and Ivarsson third. Then Julian Missler still running 4th on the track, but moving a little bit up the order. 1 place gained because Edis Malinowskis has fallen back more than 5 seconds from Julian Missler on the track, and that means Missler is classified in 11th place in front of Malinowskis. Then Patrick Prahoynik and Rafael Bro in 13th and 14th places. Here are the leaders. David Masiero with number 9, Michal Vilim with 15 and Theodor Ivarsson with number 4. Then fight for a P4 with Karmo Kerb, Janis Vale, Julien Pascal, Kari Suorinen and Dorian Hankes. Top 3 drivers downhill, and then coming Julian Missler, Karmo Kerb, Janis Vale. We see number 30 of Julian Missler still in a 4th place on the track. He's trying to pull away as far as goes Julian Missler. It is a possibility to save places after this 5 second penalty. There has to be 5 seconds gap for Julian Missler to get better place in the finish of this race. 5 seconds penalty already applied to number 30, but if the gaps start to increase behind, then there will be a less places lost for Julian Missler. But now Masiero, Willim and Iverson still going one after another with a very small gaps between them. 0.4 between first and second, 0.7 between second and third. There is Julien Pascal getting warning, so far without penalties for pushing. Julien Pascal, number 31, currently in P6, on the track in P7, but classified in P6 because of Julian Missler, a 5-second penalty. Missler moving up to P10 in classification because the gaps behind are increasing. Now Favas Youssef is down in 11th, Edis Marinovskis in 12th, then Patrick Prachoinik in P13 and Raphael Bro in P14. The next lap has started, and here goes inside Karmo Kerb fighting for P4. He is already P4 in classification, but Karmo Kerb trying to get position on the track from Julian Missler. Missler has got 5 seconds penalty, so anyway is not taking away place from Karmo Kerb, but anyway Estonian goes through and now is correctly as classified 4th on the track and 4th in the classification. Now down to 5th place on the track goes Julian Missler, but classified is in P10. Here David Masiero, Michal Willim and Theodor Iverson completing one more lap. Karmo Kerb moved to P4 also on the track, not only in the classification, but there are almost 2 seconds for Karmo Kerb to catch the leaders. There are less than 4 minutes to go. Theodor Iverson lapping in 48.3 seconds. Karmo Kerb, even in the lap in which he fighted for position with Julian Missler, even in this lap Karmo Kerb managed to go 47.9, so he is 4/10 of a second faster than Theodor Iverson. And at this pace Karmo Kerb, after 3-4 laps, could catch Iverson, but will it be enough to fight for position? Now Iverson is running third, left there alone, 1.6 seconds behind Willim, 1.8 behind is Karmo Kerb with a very competitive lap time. But now in a next lap it seems like Theodor Iverson somehow knows that it is Karmo Kerb coming from behind, and this lap is already faster for Theodor Iverson, and the gap between him and Karmo Kerb remains the same, 1.8 seconds. Julien Pascal still 5th, then Harri Suoninen 6th, Janis Avail in P7, Dorian Hankes, Francesco Panatti and Julian Missler in P10, but actually running in P5 on the track in go-kart number 30. 2 minutes to go in this race. Masiero and Willim fighting for the lead. Willim is close, 0.3 seconds from the first lap till the last lap goes Michal Willim. Will he try to do something? Will he try to overtake David Masiero? Now Masiero is going without mistakes in a very consistent lap times. I mean, Julien Pascal sets the new best lap time of this race, 47.7. 47.9 is the best lap time for David Masiero, now leading. Here is Karmo Kerb in his yellow race suit, up to 4th place on the track, which left him anyway 4th in the classification because of a 5 seconds penalty for Julian Missler. But we have 1.5 minutes to go. 1 or 2 laps till the finish. Masiero and Willim fighting for the first place. David Masiero in number 9 leading whole race, but Michal Willim 0.3. That's the gap for them for 14 laps already. 0.3. Michal Willim is chasing David Masiero whole race, all 12 minutes on the track. Can he do something? Will he do something? Will there be a fight for a P1 in this race? We have started last minute in this race. Last of 12 minutes has started. Here, second time on the bridge, down through the last corners. The checkered flag is there, but the time is ticking, and we are going for one more lap. We had a few seconds left, and that gives one more lap for David Maciero, Michael William, and everyone else. Theodor Iverson down in a third. Almost 2 seconds losing to William. William still 0.3 behind David Maciero. There is Karmo Kerbin P4, but here are the leaders. Down the bridge for the first time through those corners. And here where we saw the very hard crash from Dorian Hankes, and now under the bridge are going Maciero and William up for the second time, and now we are only 3 corners from the finish line. No, there is no place inside for Michael Williams. He stays second, and David Maciero takes the win. Michael William second place, Theodor Ivarsson in third. Great race and great overtaking from Karmo Kerb. He is fourth. Then Julien Pascal, Harry Suoninen in P6. 7th is Janis Vey. Dorian Hankes, after a hard crash in the first lap, finishes in 8th position. Francesco Panatti is 9th, and Julian Miesler with a 5 seconds penalty is down the order in P10. Then Favas Youssef, Edis Medinovskis, Rafael Bro, and Patrick Prahonik. Here are most intense moments from this race. There goes number. And we see number 13 of Dorian Hankes. What happened there and why there was such a hard crash into the barriers. It was in the second lap of the race. Fantastic. Dorian Hankes with number 13. This is still the first lap of the race. Hankes finished in P9. And here started the racing. The overtaking left outside is Dorian Hankes. Through the inside goes Julian Miesler. And it seems like for this crash, Julian Miesler got 5 seconds penalty. That moves Dorian Hankes up to 8th place in the final classification. But anyway, there on the track it was 6 places lost for Dorian Hankes. Here is Karmo Kerbin, number 3, moving in front of Julian Miesler on the track. And one more try from Julien Pascal. Pascal, anyway, is classified in front of Miesler. That was the most intense moments of this race, and we are getting ready for the next one.
5 years ago now that we've been using the kart. It's been a journey of exploration and learning for the company. It's been really good. You know, the batteries are exactly the same battery as when we launched, which I think is really impressive when you think that we've had well over 2,000 charging cycles. Even with the powertrain, you know, it really means that there's no maintenance with this product, and I think this is really a credit to the guys at Rotax to develop such a robust car. And if you look at the performance, when you consider the weight that we carry at the moment, it is really impressive.
Two races left in the first heat here in Wavre. The B group is getting ready to race in a first heat, and then there will be a short break, and we will get getting ready for a second heat, where will be this very interesting and intense short qualifying sessions, which actually gives only 2 flying laps, only 2 opportunities for driver to set their fastest laps. Now on the track goes Emrik Törnqvist in number 22, Max Karhunen in 12, Edwards Keziks at 26, Fabrizio Kallio in 19, 17 for Nino Bray, Julien Bianchi with number 5, Jérôme Bianchi with number 28, Anthony Bourgeois with 11, 18 for Edouard Varkel, Rémi Panetieu with number 8, 25 of Wouter Popelier, Dupin Timoleon with number 20, Tani Boria with number 1, and Mylene Brossard with number 23. And we are ready to race again. Now, cued right after the safety car. Drivers are getting ready for their first race of this day. Qualifying is over. We are coming to an end of the first heat. It is Emrik Törnqvist now leading right behind safety car. It's Max Karhunen in P2 going to the formation lap, followed by Fabrizio Kallio and Edwards Keziks in P4. Then Nino Bray and Julien Bianchi, Anthony Bourgeois and Jérôme Bianchi in P8. Then top 10 completed by Edouard Varkel and Rémi Panetieu. Formation lap has started, the safety car is in front, and as soon as it dives into the pits, we will start racing again. The green flag on the starting straight, drivers are forming a long queue behind the safety car. We have rolling starts today, not standing and not side by side as yesterday, but in one long queue behind safety car, because we have opposite direction on the track today. It is more dangerous than right direction on the track, so we need a little bit safer start. So far it has helped. We are better through the first corners with less crashes than before. And now the big group of drivers starting this race here in Wavre goes up from third place, but manages to get back into the sequence of the other drivers. Törnqvist still leading Gelstein and everyone else. Now it's already one group left for the first heat. The A group drivers are preparing for their race. B group has started here. Emrik Törnqvist is leading, Max Karhunen second, and Fabrizio Kallio third from the start. Kallio, Keziks and Nino Bray very close after each other, fighting for P3 now. The first lap is completed. Emrik Törnqvist is leading. Then Max Karhunen right behind him. Kallio, Keziks, Bray, Bianchi and Bourgeois. Wouter Popeliers has lost his 12th place and now is down in 13 or even last. We will see a little bit later. Then Mylene Brossard in number 23. There is also, seems that Jérôme Bianchi in number 28 is one place down as he was a lap before, and Emrik Törnqvist is leading, that's for sure. Number 22 is in front. Anthony Bourgeois with 11 on the second bridge. And now Fabrizio Kallio in P3, closely followed by Edwards Keziks and Nino Bray. Jérôme Bianchi lost to Edouard Varkel and now is going in P9. Tani Boria up to P12 in front of Wouter Popelier, but Mylene Brossard is last in P14. It's Emrik Törnqvist in number 22, followed by Max Karhunen in 12. Great race from Max Karhunen yesterday in the A final. He got on the podium in a third place in the finals, and now Max Karhunen today was tied on points in a top 10. Karhunen was tied on points with Axel Sarniala with 136, but after morning's qualifying success, Axel Sarniala already got a few extra points and now is in front of Max Karhunen. Karhunen now is fighting in second Sarniala will go on the track in the last group of drivers, as he had the best lap time in qualifying. So it seems like Sarniala is moving into podium in overall rating of 2 days racing here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint. But now Emrik Törnqvist is leading Karhunen on the track. Karhunen needs the win to maintain the hopes to fight with Sarniala for steps on the podium in overall ranking. And even in this day racing, yesterday the final was very lucky for Max Karhunen. Now he has started second and now is running second behind Emrik Törnqvist. There is only 0.4 seconds between them. Törnqvist sets best lap time with 47.6, 47.7 for Max Karhunen. Anyway, they are only 4 tenths between them. There is 1.5 second between Karhunen and Kallio in third. Edwards Kesik still fourth. And in P5 comes Nino Bray in number 17. After Nino Bray, there is Julien Bianchi in number 5. Here is number 1 of Tani Borja and Wout Popelier fighting for P12 on the track. Number 12 of Max Karhunen, right behind Emrik Törnqvist, number 22. Törnqvist also top 10 driver after points score yesterday. He was in a P10 with 119 points, just 3 points short of Clement Esposito and 4 points short of Andres Leibniz. The first minutes spent on the track, Emrik Törnqvist still leading. Number 12 of Max Karhunen chasing him, still 0.4 seconds between them. Already in previous race we saw both leaders going 0.3 from start till finish line, almost 20 laps whole race. Will it repeat in this race between Emrik Törnqvist and Max Karhunen? 0.4, one more lap completed, already 4 laps behind them. Already 5 minutes spent on the track. Törnqvist in front, Karhunen following, and there is Fabrizio Kallio a little bit more than 1 second behind them. Here is Fabrizio Kallio with number 19 on the first bridge. Then after Kallio comes Edwards Kesik in number 26 and Nino Bray in number 17. After Bray there is Julien Bianchi in number 5 here coming through this corner. After Bianchi, Anthony Bourgeois, Edouard Varkel and Jérôme Bianchi. Rémi Panetier completes top 10 with the number 8 on his go-kart, but leaders have completed one more lap. Still in the front, Emrik Törnqvist. New record in the first sector, best lap time for Fabrizio Kallio in a previous lap. Törnqvist is still leading. Karhunen is only 0.4 seconds behind him, all 6 laps from the start. There, right in front of Karhunen, is Emrik Törnqvist. Can do something, Max Karhunen. Still a lot of time, still a lot of laps to go. Almost 6 minutes left, just over the half mark of the race. We went now and now through the last corners of this lap. Yesterday we saw so many crashes here. Those were corners yesterday. Now those are last. At the end of the lap, here we're going through. The Emrik Törnqvist still leading. Even closer goes Max Karhunen. There are only 0.3 seconds between them. 1/10 closer goes Max Karhunen. 0.3. That is a distance here. It seems like 0.3 is a distance from which you can start to think about overtaking. And Max Karhunen already goes inside, coming down the bridge inside of Emrik Törnqvist, but there was no gap, no place for Max Karhunen. Törnqvist maintains his first position, now is leading a few centimeters back. Now is Karhunen after this crash, but you're going through last corners of the lap. He is closing again, and only 1/10 of a second has lost Max Karhunen in this fight. There is half a second between him and Emrik Törnqvist, and Fabrizio Kallio still 1.2 seconds behind. Little by little is closing also Fabrizio Kallio. to see the fight for the lead. Maybe we need two leaders together and Fabrizio Kallio a little bit further back, because if Fabrizio Kallio will be right after Max Karhunen, there will be too much risk for Karhunen making overtaking or going off the line. So Fabrizio Kallio could benefit from this move. Either Max Karhunen tries to overtake Emeric Törnqvist again very soon now, or he will settle in the second and wait for Fabrizio Kallio to fall back further. Now there is 1-3, both leaders going 1/10 faster than Fabrizio Kallio in third. Edward Keziks is in safe fourth place. There are more than 2 seconds in front to Kallio, and almost 1.5 behind Keziks going Nino Bray in P5. Looking back over the shoulder, Emeric Törnqvist is very, very close again. Max Karhunen, 0.5 seconds was the maximum gap they had after this small crash between them coming down from the first bridge. Now Max Karhunen is again only a few centimeters behind Emeric Törnqvist. They have 0.3 seconds. That again is the distance from which you can start to do something. 0.3. That is the distance from which you can try to pull overtaking. We saw previous time when Max Karhunen was 0.3 here coming down from the bridge. He tried to dive inside, but there was not enough room. Törnqvist was in the middle of the track and leaving no doors open for Max Karhunen there. Will Karhunen find some place else on this track to try to overtake Törnqvist? Now we have a Scandinavian championship fighting for the first and second. It's Emeric Törnqvist and Max Karhunen leading. Fabrizio Kallio is third, but still 1.2 seconds behind Karhunen, 1.6 behind Törnqvist. Leaders here under the bridge and uphill going. The rear limiter is putting in very, very early, going down, but the uphill battles are very, very intense because there is a lot of power needed to move uphill. And here, a very interesting corner on the second bridge, going down, absolutely blind corner. You don't see what is on the exit, you just have to know where to turn in. We have 2 laps to go. 1.5 minutes till the finish, and very, very close again. Emeric Törnqvist and Max Karhunen. Can Karhunen do something in the last 2 laps? Up they go again. First bridge, penultimate lap of this race. Max Karhunen is really, really close behind Emeric Törnqvist. 1 minute left in this racing. Again, looking back over his shoulder, Emeric Törnqvist. Close enough is Max Karhunen to do something, but will be there any place in any corner where Emeric Törnqvist will leave a space open for Max Karhunen? 1 lap to go. The last corners they are going through, less than 1 minute, and goes inside. Max Karhunen starting the last lap of the race. Max Karhunen dives inside of Emeric Törnqvist in the second corner and moves in front. 0.3 between them whole race. 12 minutes spent on the track, and now Max Karhunen is leading in front of Emeric Törnqvist. Törnqvist held his lead for whole race, but then starting last lap, that was a decisive move from Max Karhunen, and he goes first. That puts Max Karhunen in the best possible situation to fight for the overall podium and points of both days. No, the final countdown still during this lap, and we have 1 extra round to go here in the Wavre. Still leading Max Karhunen. Can Emeric Törnqvist do something? There was only already a sign for 2 laps, but time didn't run out, and we got 1 more lap to go. So Karhunen is leading. Törnqvist is really close behind, 0.4 between them, but it seems like only a very, very small margin is missing. Emmerich Törnqvist to try to get back his first position in this race. They are going up 3 corners to the finish line. Karhunen down through the last corners, and after a great, fantastic overtaking move on a penultimate lap, Max Karhunen takes the win. Emmerich Törnqvist is second. Fabrizio Kallio comes home third. Eduard Kezix fourth. Nino Bray in P5, followed by Julien Bianchi and Anthony Bourgeois. Eduard Varkel 8, Jérôme Bianchi in P9, then Rémi Panetiu in P10, followed by Timo Leon Dupont, Tani Borja, Wouter Popelier and Mylene Brossard. One race to go. We will see the winner of the qualifying, Axel Sarniala, who set absolutely fantastic lap time in a qualifying. In the next race he will be on the track, but now it is Max Karhunen who can go and celebrate this small victory already. How much that will give to Karhunen's hopes for overall rating? The first place is exactly what he needed in this heat to maintain his hopes for top 3 ranking in both days overall. Max Karhunen takes the win, and the whole race he went 0.3, 0.4 seconds behind Emmerich Törnqvist. Then a couple of laps before the finish line he tried to go inside here, but that was unsuccessful move and he lost a few tenths of a second. Here they are, one after another. Emmerich Törnqvist still leading as the majority of the race. Törnqvist looking back over his shoulder, lap after lap to see how far behind is Max Karhunen. He hadn't do that. Karhunen was there all over the place, just waiting for his opportunity, just finding the place where to make that overtaking move. Here he went inside. There was not enough space, that there was a small crash and also a few tenths lost for Max Karhunen, and here on a penultimate lap of the race he went inside into the second corner and got the win. So Max Karhunen is first, Törnqvist second, and we are waiting for the Group A to go on the track. One more race in Heat 1, and now we will see on the track the winner of the qualifying today, Axel Sarniala, who set absolutely fantastic lap time this morning, 46.8. Will he be able to repeat his lap time during the race? But now Axel Sarniala got number 13 and is lined up right behind safety car in P1. There comes Francisco Gelstein, who was in the absolutely identical lap time with Baptiste van der Beek, but was classified 8th overall and now got second position on the grid. Francisco Gelstein. There is Janne Pajonen with number 31 starting third. Behind him is Michal Letovanec in number 16, then Philippe Mattea in 24, 29 for Florian Collet, 3 for Dionysis, 30 for Yengyu Ko, 10 for Tero Makinen, Igo Dibash in number 32, Maxim Delmotte in number 9, Mars Liepinch number 15, Marko Miskic with number 2, and Natalia Astalosova with number 4. Everyone right behind safety car, and we go racing again. Number 13, that is Axel Sarniala. Missed the podium yesterday, but was tied on points with Max Karhunen after yesterday's scoring. Today, Axel Sarniala got extra points for winning qualifying, but he was so unbelievably fast, we cannot imagine what will happen in this race. Will be he able to set the same lap times as in qualifying? No one has been driving so fast through the whole day during the first heats. No one went faster than Axel Sarniala's lap time from qualifying. No one has been into 46 seconds around this lap here in Wavre in one or another direction. That is the absolutely best lap time here, 46.8, and that is Axel Sarniala in number 13, now lined up behind the safety car, going down from the bridge, 2 corners to the start of the race. Green flag is ready. The safety car dives into the pits. Here they are through the last corners, waiting for the moment for Axel Sarniala when we will start. He will start accelerating, and the race has started. Here comes the winner of the qualifying. Everyone else following in 1Q. There is Igor Dibash moving to outside, or being pushed to outside of second corner, losing places there, but Axel Sarniala is in front. Now Francisco Gelstein is chasing him. 8th best lap time for Francisco Gelstein. He was in a first group together with Baptiste van der Beek, and they got absolutely identical lap times, and only the thing which one set his time first decided who will have a pole position in one group or starting position number 2 in this group, and that is Francisco Gelstein, but he also was one of the fastest guys in the qualifying at the morning. Now Sarniala is leading 0.7 after first lap. Igor Dibash in 9th, Tero Makinen in P10. Mars Liepinch has lost 2 positions at the start and now is running 14th, but Axel Sarniala is leading the race. Is he starting to pull away already? This is only the first lap of this race. Francisco Gelstein following Axel Sarniala. Can he see Sarniala's lines? Can he find his extra speed? Now we have 3 Finnish drivers leading this race. It's Axel Sarniala, Francisco Gelstein and Janne Pajonen, followed by Michal Letovanec, Philippe Mattea and Florian Collet. Then in P7, Glendy Dionysis, Yengyu Ko, Igor Dibash, and in top 10, Tero Makinen. 1.1 after second lap. Sarniala is pulling away already. 47.3 seconds is his lap time. Half a second slower going Francisco Gelstein and Janne Pajonen. They are left fighting each other. There's only 0.3 of a second. Here, number 27 is Francisco Gelstein, number 31 is Janne Pajonen, and followed by number 16 of Michal Letovanec. There is less than second between Letovanets and Pajonen, only 0.3 of a second between Pajonen and Gelstein. This is the fight for second place, but Axel Sarniala is pulling away. 3 laps and almost 2 seconds is the gap behind Axel Sarniala. Now I think everyone else is watching on the track what Axel Sarniala is doing, where he has found his speed, why he was so fast in qualifying. He still is very fast and pulling away from everyone else, now going 47.2 with a new best lap time in a third lap of this race. 9 minutes to go, 3 already spent on the track and almost 2 seconds advantage now for Sarniala. Here goes outside, crashes into the barrier. Yengyu Ko, it's Igor Bash going in front of him, fight for 8th place, and now has lost 1 place. Igor Bash gained 1 place, and Yong Ko just lost 2 positions. Also Tero Makinen is through, he was close enough to succeed in this move. Now Makinen is 9th, Igor Bash is 8th, and Yengyu Ko down to P10. It's number 16 of Michal Letovanets chasing Jan Pajonen, fighting for 3rd, fighting for 2nd with Francisco Gelstein. 2 seconds advantage for Axel Sarniala. This lap is slower, maybe it is enough for Axel Sarniala. No, now he starts the next lap with the new records in 1st and 2nd sectors. Sarniala clocks faster than before with 47.1. He is 0.3 of a second off his qualifying pace, but here we have fight for second place. It's Janne Pajonen hitting inside of Francisco Gelstein. Finns fighting for the top 3 places on the podium. Michal Letovanets is led behind in P4, but there is number 31 of Janne Pajonen now in front of Francisco Gelstein. Pajonen moves up to 2nd place. Gelstein now is 3rd, and can Michal Letovanets do something about it? One more fast lap from Axel Sarniala, almost 4 seconds away from everyone else. Janne Pajonen in front of Francisco Gelstein. Michal Letovanets is next one to fight with number 27 on the track. And Janne Pajonen got in front and is pulling away. There is almost 4 seconds for Axel Sarniala at the front, 3.7. He is leading now. Janne Pajonen got 2nd, but is he fast enough? Is he so fast to catch Axel Sarniala? I think everyone could doubt it, but we will see it on the track. Improving his times in every sector now as soon as the track is clean in front of Janne Pajonen. He is going faster, but his improved lap time and he going faster anyway is 47.5, as Axel Sarniala sets 47.1 in a previous lap and still increases his gap to 4.1 second. It's 16 of Michal Letovanets still chasing Francisco Gelstein. The 8th fastest driver in qualifying now seems is losing. Gain is losing speed. Pajonen is through. Michal Letovanets is trying to overtake him, and there is no such a great speed as was in qualifying for Francisco Gelstein. Here Gelstein coming down the bridge. There is also Jan Pajonen. More than 1 second in front. 1.2 is advantage of Janne Pajonen in 2nd place. 4.1 remains for Sarniala and Pajonen. This lap 2/10 slower for Sarniala, 2/10 faster for Janne Pajonen, and it allows for Pajonen to remain 4.1 seconds behind Sarniala, but actually probably that is just controlled speed of Axel Sarniala. 4 seconds is more than enough gap in the lead. There is no hurry for Axel Sarniala now. Less than 5 minutes till the finish line. Sarniala has got a very, very comfortable lead. He needed only a few laps at the beginning of the race. 4.2 seconds after this lap. 1/10 slower goes Janne Pajunen, and Axel Sarniala still going 47.3. That's half a second slower than his qualifying lap, but he does not need to go faster now. This is number 13 of leader of this race, of winner of the overall qualifying this morning. It is Axel Sarniala fighting for the podium in the overall ranking in Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals. 4 minutes to go, 4 seconds behind Sarniala. There is no one. One more fastest lap, 47.1. Janne Pajunen 2/10 slower, and the gap of Sarniala increasing to 4.5. Gelstein still holding third in front of Michal Letovanec. It's 31 of Janne Pajunen, now driving alone in a third place, 1.5 seconds in front of Gelstein and Letovanec. Gelstein has left fighting with Michal Letovanec. Then in P5 coming Philippe Pateja and Florian Collet. Glendy Dionysis and Igor Bash fighting for P7. Tero Makinen, Yeng-Yu Ko and Maxim Delmotte fighting for P9. And behind them is Marko Miskic, Natalia Stalosova and Maris Liepinch. 3 minutes to go. It's number 16 of Letovanec behind 27 of Francisco Gelstein and 31 of Janne Pajunen. And Axel Sarniala increasing his gap to 5 seconds, going 46.8 now. 46.875 for Sarniala in qualifying. 46.880 now on the track. That is only 0.005 of a second slower than in his absolutely blasting qualifying lap for Axel Sarniala. I do not know what is he doing on the track, and I hope everyone else is watching now to understand what is doing Axel Sarniala, but no one else has been under 47 seconds. But Axel Sarniala did that in qualifying and is going now too in the first heat, also 46.8. No one has been there in this track in 46 seconds. Everyone else is going 47 or slower. Axel Sarniala, 2 minutes to go in this race, is leading by 5.4 seconds. Pajunen lonely in second place. Gelstein and Letovanec fighting for third. It's number 30 of Yeng-Yu Ko chasing Tero Makinen for P9. Tero Makinen in number 10. Then behind them coming Maxim Delmotte and Marko Miskic in number 9 and number 2. 1.5 minutes to go till the finish line, and here the fight is on. Glendy Dionysis is in front of Igor Bash, number 32 of Igor Bash. Here are they fighting, going up to the first bridge on this lap. Last minute of this race. This is a fight for P7 on the track now. The leader has run away. 5.8 for Sarniala. Pajunen second. Here, two pairs of drivers fighting, Dibash with Dionysis, Ko with Makinen. The last minute of this race, here coming down the bridge, but this is number 13, this time lucky number, and it is Axel Sarniala leading this race. Winning qualifying at the morning and still going at the same speed during first heat. No one else has been so fast as Axel Sarniala is today in this opposite direction. Here in Wavre, no one has been doing 46 seconds lap time. Axel Sarniala does it in qualifying, he does it in the first heat, and now he is over the finish line. 6.5 seconds in front of everyone else. Janne Pajunen takes second. Francisco Gelstein is third, 3 Finns at the front in this race. Michal Letovanets is fourth, then Philip Mateja, Florian Kolle in P6, Glendy Dionysis 7th, Igor Dibash 8th, Tero Makinen in P9, followed by Yengyu Ko, completing top 10, then Maxim Delmotte, Marko Miskic, Natalia Astelosova and Maris Liepinj. The first heats are over. Now a short break and we will be getting ready for second heats where there will be the short qualifying sessions with 3 laps, or actually only 2 flying laps available for each driver. The groups will remain the same as in the first heat, but everyone has an opportunity to get a better starting position for a second heat. Here we see a last group, or the fastest group of first heat. A few crashes in the second corner. I lost everything here in the second corner. Maris Liepinj with number 15. A lot of time lost in this corner for Liepinj, and he was not able to recover during this race, still finishing in P14 and losing more than 12 seconds to the leader. Here was a fight for a second between Pajunen and Gelstein. Anyway, 3 Finns at the front of this race. Michal Letovanets tried to do everything to get in top 3 but was unable to pass Francisco Gelstein. Here is left outside number 27 of Francisco Gelstein and Janne Pajunen going through. He went to the second place. We are over the first heats, getting ready for a second, and now a short break on the track and on the screen.